The current spoiler warning level is butterscotch.
Friends and folks, for this episode, you're looking at a spoiler warning level of butterscotch. On this episode, we're talking about some machines from Mobile Suit Gundam Age, and Season 2 machines specifically, I believe. And we don't get into too much plot stuff around them, but they are, from late in the show. So if you are sensitive to age spoilers, consider yourself warned that they're the low-level spoilers. But also, if you're a Great Gundam Project listener, you should be good to go. GGP covered this one already. Please enjoy the episode. Hello friends and folks, and welcome back to another Mechanista in G episode. I did that backwards because I'm Yoda. I'm Six Detmar.
I'm Dylan.
Roll we must. This is going to be a normal episode. We're going to do cleanup next week. You know, mark my words, I will do the proper prep. I pulled up the cleanup list, and it's like, we definitely have talked about some of these. We definitely talked about the Zaku Speed years ago. Why is this on here? Shit. Clearly have
Did
not.
we talk about the Zaku Speed years ago? I don't remember.
On the Zaku... I mean, I looked it up. It's on the Zaku Part 2.
Okay, yeah.
So, Zaku 2 Part 2, I should say.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, a long time ago. Anyway... Most of the cleanup I want to do, which we need to add to the list, obviously there are some Voyagers that we didn't talk about, and hopefully I will be less tired and grouchy, so I can perhaps be a little more analytical about the Voyager. We have a few Dograms we missed the other day, and then, just some random Gundam editions that occur over time,
Yeah.
Random new shit that show up.
Yeah, I get you. Alright, well.
Okay. Okay, and then this is probably too big. I need like a D14. I'm sure I could get that from somewhere, but it's just kind of wild that there's such a big gap between 12 and 20 in a standard set. You know?
Yeah.
Did we talk about this? Hang on. Did we not? No, hang on. Wait. What?
Mm-hmm.
Showed. Okay, Google's being weird about this. Maybe there's not. Yeah, we talked about it last year. I don't know why Google's being a bit funky about it, but it's fine. Yeah, stupid. It's a bad. When I was a young boy, my father took me to the city to see a marching band. When I was young and Google first sort of hit the field, it was like, holy shit, this is like genuinely a better searching program for finding things. And they've just taken that away.
Yeah.
It's still, better than the alternatives because no one else is really in the field anymore because they bullet everyone out. But their shit has just gotten worse and worse.
I was gonna say they did better than everyone originally, but then,
And shitification, yeah.
Yeah.
So it goes.
Well,
Right,
I'm always thinking about how reverse image search on Google got worse and worse and worse, where, like, in 2016, I could easily reverse image search even parts of an image, and it would pull up matches. And now, even when I know an image is online and cached by Google, it just can't. It's just so bad at it, and it doesn't let you properly sort. Hey, I want the biggest version of this. It's just you have to scroll through all the list of the visual matches, and it's just. I'm like, why do you make it worse? Why do you keep doing this anyway?
That's a good question. Okay, this works. We can do this.
Yep.
Let me get a screenshot. Well, a portion of one, anyway.
Uh-huh.
And there you go.
Ooh, Do I
So
have to go
30-minute missions.
Oh, is it?
It's not. I'm joking.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just, the colors seem plausibly 30-minute
Well,
missions.
I was seeing these colors, I was like, is this the... This isn't... Oh, what are those things called? Fuck. The Adele?
Yeah, nice. I even cheated a little. I even did a side, not the mass production colors to fuck with you, but this is indeed the Adele.
Well, I was trying to think of what colors have that in like that look Ebikawa-esque, and I was thinking at first I was thinking the Commander Clanch, and I'm like, wait, no, that's like a really light blue. That's not a dark blue. I was like, okay, it's not a Clanch, and then I remembered the Clanch's legs, and I'm like, there's no way. I was like, well, it's got to be an Age thing. It just feels like Age to me. So yeah, yeah, the Adele. The Adele is a mass production mobile suit from the Asamu arc of the Gundam Age anime, or also known as Part 2. Hold on one second. Sorry.
Bless you.
So this is essentially the real gem of the show, because it is explicitly based on the Age 1 Gundam. To the degree that the Age 1's parts even are compatible. Like, the various Age 1 wares are technically compatible with this. They don't do that in the show, but, they do it in the game, and the games and whatnot, and in some other stuff. So, yeah. Basically, they had to decipher how the age system worked, and they were able to make it from that. It basically, I mean, it is a gem, but theoretically it should be as good as the Age 1 normal was on the battlefield. And I mean, it's, feels like a gem though. So to describe this design, starting with the head, you've got a head with it's rounded on the top. It's got a bit of a forehead guard that bumps forward. All the armor is in the same color generally, which is to say it's either blue or, in the case of the other one, like a very, green
It's
blue?
like seafoam green.
Seafoam? Yeah, that's a good... Yeah. So the forehead armor in that color, you've got these boxy parts on the sides of the head. They're kind of shaped like a hexagon. They're a little taller on the upper half than the lower half of the hexagon. And then you have like a little panel line on the back of the head, like in the back middle, on the upper part, and then you get more panel lining around the neck area below. For the face, you have white armor going around the chin area, and then you have a dark blue visor inset. There's some other stuff we could talk about with the face's detail that, let me pull up, that doesn't come up in this art. It seems like they started doing this around Age, because I didn't ever really see this happen with, I didn't see this happen with 00 Sete, really, but Age had the interesting thing where it had two sets of Sete. It had high detail versions and then the regular versions. So, like, these are the regular versions that we're looking at, but there's the Genoace. That's not what I wanted. There we go, the Adele. We also have high detail versions from Ebikawa here, and a cool thing with the high detail version that is very visible and apparent is the face underneath, where it does have a Gundam face hiding in there. It has two eyes, which I believe the show even does show at points glowing underneath the visor. Will show the eyes glowing, and you can even see it has the Gundam chin flattened to the face in there. Mm-hmm. I just think that's really neat. And then that panel line on the back of the head, I actually think I forgot about this, but that's a camera, I believe, as well. Because it doesn't have the Mohawk camera. Yes, as the little note there says, it is a sensor. So, yeah.
Let's go ahead and put it side by side with this.
Yeah.
Then.
Yeah, I figured I would let you do that, but... yeah, so... obviously, also on this art, the main thing is going to be, it's just a lot more panel liney. Not really, extra I'll point out major things as we get to them. But for the chest, you have almost a T-shaped chest. It's a bit wide. You've got for the upper section of the torso, you got a plate on the front of it in the same shape as the upper torso. The plate's in white with the rest of the armor and the Adele's, or whatever Adele flavor's armor color you're looking at. And then you've got a midsection that is... It's interesting because, like, it starts around the halfway point of the chest. But then over the front, it has some armor that hangs down rather than being, like, just the bellows of... It usually, the line would continue from the sides through the front here, but it actually puts some armor here at the front, which is just kind of interesting. And then you get a gray part for the lower portion that connects into the waist. Not really any detail to speak of on the chest other than, the little hatch here gets a different design on the high detail art. It's got these, like, little... I presume they almost look like vents, just given the way they're designed there. But yeah, just there's some extra detail around the chest plate. The shoulders are fairly simple. They've got the armor, you've got a piece that goes around the front and back and then has a connecting piece between them. These are kind of tall and square. They have a thruster in the front and back of them. And then connected to the side of these on the outside, you've got a large hexagonal piece of armor. It's a little longer on the lower half than it is on the upper half. Big armor plate protects the under parts. Continues down a little bit halfway, like, through its bicep. As for the bicep, on the default version, you've just got white armor. You do get an additional vents drawn on this on the high detail version, they're very similar to the vents that are on the Age 1, whenever that's drawn in high detail. For the lower arm, you've got... It's kind of interesting. The forearm actually has a cut partway through it, so it's like the arms can rotate on that cut. And then you also have a really large cuff right before you get to where the hand is, so just kind of bigger armor around that. The very back of it, you can see it's got these, like, holes on there. Theoretically, these are hard points for the shield. I think maybe, does the rifle have a hard point on it? Yes, it does. It's a little, you can't really see it in the art that's there, but you can see the rifle below the handle has a piece that plugs into that under area of the arm too, which is pretty cool. So, just some hard points underneath. The hands, you got these really cool circular wrists right before the actual hand parts. Then you've got the hand armor with a circular cutout on the back for where it's attached into the wrist. And then the fingers are in gray, as expected. For the waist, you've got a big crotch piece in white. Then you've got two skirts. These skirts are just in the armor color. They're kind of made of two pieces. You've got, like, this smaller piece around that's connected into the base of the waist, and then you got this, like, a larger outer piece of armor around that on the side and the bottom of it. The side skirts, you've got, they're, like, just kind of boxy side skirts that I believe these are beam sabers are held in. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so these
looks like it anyway.
What?
I said looks like it anyway.
Yeah. This is where the beam sabers are stored, is on the side skirts. So, just kind of a box that has, like, an open area for the beam saber to plug into and be visible and easy to grab. And then for the rear of the design, you've just got a white plate on the back butt area and two skirts on the back that are very similar to the ones on the front. They're a little more angular, but, same kind of overall design. For the thighs, decently detailed thighs, honestly, even on the non-high detail version. Just, you have these white parts around the front, and then it almost looks like you've got, like, these plates on the side that have these little angled bits of armor here. I really like how this looks. It's just a nice breakup of lines going on here on the thighs. For the joint, pretty standard joint. It's just like the, wedge that's in there. And then for the lower leg, you've got, the knee has some holes cut into the upper part and then the very bottom of it, near the bottom of the calves. The calf armor is large hexagonal pieces of armor. Around the back, you've got a little box with a thruster pointing downward that is, on the back of the leg there. You get some ankle armor around the base of the leg. It protects around the joint of the leg to the foot. The armor kind of pops up near the back of it, which is kind of unique. And then for the feet, you've got, it's not really a high heel so much as the white armor on the heel goes up really high. You also have white armor on the front of the foot right above. Then you get the flat armor color for the bottom. And then again, it's not actually like a high heel, it's just funny how tall this foot is though with the heel. It is a high heel, but not a high heel, The heel, the armor goes up pretty high is the thing, but it's not like there's a wide gap between the heel and the front of the foot there.
Mm-hmm.
And then finally, the backpack, very simple backpack design. It's basically just a big box on the back in between two parts of the torso armor. I believe this is the actual cockpit hatch on the back. I don't know for sure, but I think it is. And then below that, it's got a large thruster, big circular thruster below that's in a housing that presumably it can gimbal around a little bit in there, given how big the housing is. And yeah, that's the Adele. There are many variants of this we will be talking about, but this is just the standard one. And like I said,
it really does look like a 30-minute mission.
It does. I mean, Ebikawa was one of the primary 30-minute missions designers, so...
True. And he and he designed this suit to be kind of the I don't know how to phrase, the very, very stock, platonic ideal of a mobile suit.
Well, the thing is, right, if it's based on the Age 1, the Age 1 is already, the simple generalist Gundam of the show. And it's kind of funny because, before I can't remember if we had an episode on it, but before you get the, in Season 1, what they use, or Part 1 of the show, I should say, is you've got the Genoace. And even the Genoace, it's really funny because the Genoace is also kind of a fancy design, but the whole thing is this is supposed to be the even worse version. And it does look a little weird also in comparison, whereas this, I mean, it has the looks of a general purpose machine that is meant to adapt to many situations, just from its very simple humanoid shape, to its loadout, and of course to the fact that it's very modular with the parts because it is based on the Age 1. So, some other parts to talk about. So we mentioned the beam saber. I'll just show the rifle one more time. Here we have the Dodds rifle. Quite like the design of it. It's a pretty standard beam rifle design of this era. You've got the light up scope that's on top of the little handle. But I like that it has the little plug for having it attached to the arm more securely. I think that's a cool touch.
It's fun that they do they tend to do the sort of ring of the sort of energy pulse around the beam when it fires.
Well, because it spins the beams. Remember, that was the gimmick in the show.
Yeah.
For some reason, spinning them makes them have more penetration. So.
It's right. It's rifle. I mean, I like.
Yeah, but you usually.
I can't prove that doesn't make sense.
we have to start rifling our particle beams. Yes.
I mean, rifling bullets works. Particles are still matter.
I mean,
I guess it makes sense.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's a little good. It does look cool, though, is the thing. It does look really cool in the show. So besides that, the only other thing would be you've got this, the shield. It's a pretty simple shield design. It's a large white piece with an upside down A, funnily enough, is what it looks like for the extra armor reinforcing the sides and the middle and bottom of it.
Yeah, the shield I dislike.
You don't like the shield?
It needs more on the top. It's just, it feels too, like... It doesn't look like a shield. It looks like it's like... I don't know, like this part feels like a sleeve that the actual shield clicks into, and there's something about that bothers me.
Fair enough. And then I don't have a picture of it, but it does mention... Oh, here we are. We do have a picture of it on the wiki. When it is used in one of the practice runs, it has a quote-unquote dummy shot, which is to say it has a, fake pistol for target practice.
Sure, why not?
And then, as mentioned, it can do the wear system. Those will be separate units, so we'll talk about those. At one point, we also see a version that is equipped with the G-Bouncer's booster, which is kind of interesting. It's just the G-Bouncer's, back booster. I don't know how you would attach that to this as someone who has the G-Bouncer, but, we see it in an episode, so it does it. And yeah, so, honestly, the variants would be the easiest ones to talk about. So, first of all, there's the Adele Titus. Oh yeah, no, they do use these in the show. Okay, I couldn't remember. Even with the recent rewatch, I couldn't remember. But, it's the Adele with the Titus pack on. The Titus pack being the Age 1 melee pack. What it does is...
Colors look good.
Yeah, it replaces...
I mean, this is the blue. This is that,
the
Diva custom.
Yeah, the ones that
colors.
the characters on the Diva use. Because it does get used by quite a few named characters on the Diva, since it's kind of their main thing. For the Titus parts, though, yeah, so it replaces the arms and the legs. The arms are... We've talked about the Titus before, I believe, because we've had an Age 1 episode, but basically, large red parts for the shoulders, with beam emitters at the end. Very, very wide bicep and forearm. More red armor around the wrist and really large fists. The fists are the area around the arms is able to generate the beam rings for doing the lariats. And then the legs change, including the side skirts. So it's just these large red parts plugged into the leg. They're red at the base, white for the thighs, which are quite large. And then for the joints, you get the knee has 3 more beam emitters. The thighs are kind of chunky, which makes sense with this design. You get this reinforced little armor around the joint of the leg, and then you've got these very flat feet. And then for the other relatively simple, kind of boring one, there is the Adele Spallow, which you have art of it on both of them. And, same thing. It's the Adele with the Spallow parts on. I believe these are technically, these little line arts might be fan-made, but we do see it in the show, so, but I just thought about that because of the way that the, blending is happening there on the legs, but anyway,
You gotta show the Diva colors where it actually looks good.
Yeah, that's fair. But yeah, it's the Spallow parts. It is, for the arms, thinner shoulders with a little bit of white armor on the outside. Still has the thrusters in a similar place as the regular Adele, funnily enough. Very thin bicep, and the arms are a bit more rounded, with little thrusters on the back of them. Well, I guess on the bottom of the forearm is how I would think of that. And then for the legs, does not replace the side skirts, it keeps the beam sabers. And then it has the sort of thin thighs that have these the armor that folds over the knee area, and then theoretically when bending the leg there, it has the little needle launchers inside of the knees that it would be on that part there. The legs are
Spallow's fucking cool,
thin with black rounded armor for the calves. No ankle armor really to speak of. It doesn't have these white connection parts for the feet, and then the feet have really weird toes. It kind of stands it stands on its toe and its heel rather than the main part of the foot and the heel. And yeah, it's a cool looking armor for it. These are simple to talk about because, you know, it's just they change out the arms and legs. But then one of the new parts that are still a part swap that I guess you could theoretically put these on the Age 1 funnel.
I will say real quick, if you could put that back up real quick.
Yeah, sorry.
That sugar. I do kind of suspect this might be a fan edit because you can see the colors don't quite match.
Yeah.
And in the show they do.
Yeah, I was going to say in the screenshots it looks more like they do. So yeah, that's probably the case, is they just never did line art for these. So I'm imagining that some people made these, which I get why you do that.
Yeah. I'm not upset. You know, it's you know, we feel how we feel about this, but you know, this is not one of the greater offenses.
Yep. So for one of the actual new packs of parts that go onto the Adele here, we've got the Adele Cannon variant, which switches the arms and legs as expected. If it's called the Cannon variant, it's kind of obvious what it changes. The shoulders, you have additional cannons loaded into them. The cannons are like loaded onto a mount on top of the shoulders. The cannons themselves are in gray. You have these long barrels on the front of them, and then on the back you have these little like heat venting openings. I do like the addition on the back here. I don't know if this is a clip for it or if this is just for directing the flow, but you've got these like little gray plates of gray plate pieces slotted into the back there, which I like how they look regardless of function.
Big. Yeah.
And then on the outside of the shoulder, where the armor was on the regular Adele, you got a little 3-barrel missile pod there.
They are energy packs because these on the waist here are replacement ones. You can see.
Oh yes, okay, cool. And then for the arms, it does change out the arms. They're mostly similar to the regular Adele, but probably doesn't change out the arms so much as attached to the hard points now are 2 mini shields, just on each arm. They are in the same dark blue that they use on the shoulders. And then, as mentioned, primary change is on the rear skirt. You have some parts attached. These are extra clips, seemingly. And then for the legs, the legs are a bit more armored. Funnily, the legs are the regular, if you look at them, they're the regular Adele legs, and what they've done, I believe, is just slot in some armor, you know, on this section here. But, like, the rest of it is actually
and it looks
the same.
Surprisingly good.
Yeah. And, yeah, I mean, it's the Adele cannon. It adds the cannons. They're large dodge beam cannons. You've got the triple missile pod. You've got the shield. It is.
And you know what dodge means?
It spins.
They spin.
It spins. Yeah, I was looking at the line art. We don't really have anything I can point out here other than we have some pictures of the missiles, but that's really it. It's really funny though, because these parts, theoretically, you could just throw these on the Age 1 normal and it would make sense.
Sure. I like the efficiency of this design, right? Like, I like that it is just like, okay, yep, here are the weapons, they're up top, and then we just add some armor some other places, but there's something there's a sense of restraint about it that I really appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
It's cool.
Yeah, it's a cool design. Alright. Then, next up for variants, we've got... we're going to ignore the Adele Mark IIs because there is one other one that just changes out some parts for an Age 1 unit. We have the Adele Starks from the Unknown Soldiers. Now, what I love is because this was for a manga, a photo novel, Abikawa just uses his detailed art. You can see the face underneath, for instance, which I think is fun. Mm-hmm. It's a nice way to get a color version of that high detail art. So yeah, what this design does is adds the Stark parts from the Age 1 to the Adele. The Stark's parts are the large lances. Again, I believe we talked about these parts when we talked about the AGE-1, but to describe them, they are essentially around the shoulder. You've got some extra thrusters and these really large shoulder armor pieces that have a really big cuff around them. Inside of that cuff is a gigantic, thruster that is, going really, really far down. They are longer than the arms are. These thrusters have an extra cable running from them into, the middle of the shoulder. They have a thruster on the front and back, and then at the very bottom is the large one. It's very similar to, the GPO2's kind of shoulder thrusters in a way, when they're folded down. It's just these don't fold out. These are always, facing. These don't, pop out, theoretically. And then it adds some extra armor around the wrists. You can see it there. It goes around the whole of the wrist. For extra parts on the skirts, you get some... It's kind of interesting because it looks like it keeps basically the Adele skirts, but it still adds the additional parts, which are a thruster on the front skirts. Then you have side skirts with extra thrusters on the front and back of them. And then you've got these rear skirts that have been extended with, of course, extra thrusters. As for the legs, you've got the same kind of thighs with extra armor around the lower legs. The legs themselves also have 4 downward thrusters, 2 on the front, 2 on the back. And then you've got these really large bits of ankle armor, and they feature, on the outside, another thruster. And then the feet are really, big and triangular with how they're set up. It's just the heel is a big triangle, the toe is a big triangle, and then there's a big wedge in between for them. Why does it have all these thrusters? Well, because its primary weapon that it uses is a large lance. So, let me get a picture of that. There we are. And here's some art of it. It's a large lance that also, the lance, if you look around the base of it, has thrusters. Basically, it's a high mobility pack for stabbing the shit out of things really fast.
So, okay.
Yeah?
Strategically speaking, what is this for fighting? Because it's not for fighting other mobile suits. They would just get out of the way if you can't turn. I mean, obviously, some people won't because they're bad, but then anything would kill them.
I mean, that's the thing, is it mentions that it was used to destroy a Zetas moving in on a colony. Lamau, the characters actually missed it, though Orisa Gunhale was the one who took it down. Yeah, it was only used in one battle outing like that, so it's hard to say. Let me see what it says for the AGE-1 Starks. What was it used in? The history of this even in universe is that it was never finished in universe, and the only time it ever comes up is with the Adele Starks. They later on, this Phantom blueprint was printed and used for the Adele Starks for a specific high-speed mission. So basically, they made these the AGE system spat these out for a single mission that they did.
And then someone on the team, like me, was like, why though? What problem is this solving?
Now,
I had no answer.
There is one other one that is weird, because this one is sort of, I mean, Hobby Japan had released these parts, or had shown these parts off, but given that it can wear all the AGE-1 wears, we do have art, or a thing of it with the extra razor parts that were from the, the Hobby Japan, obviously missing the big green for the blades, but, they just showed it off on this as well, which is kind of cool. Alright.
Yeah, I'm not writing that down, because that's just the thing they did for fun.
Yeah. I mean, theoretically it could, though, but yeah, no, it's not really.
I mean, sure.
There's also 2 video game only units, the Adele Gnome and the Adele Spur. I believe these are just straight up recolors of the Adele, because that is common in the PSP game. To expand out the roster, there are a couple of designs that are just, a flat.
How good are
recolor.
these colors? These aren't on the wiki. I'll say that.
Yeah, I'm taking.
Or if they are, they're bizarrely hidden.
I'm taking a look in Japanese. Hold on. Switch my dictionary so I can actually type that out. Trying to see if I can find them, but I don't even know what their I don't know what their, deal was even. Mm-hmm. So
I will say I find they don't feel very accurate to the show to me, but the colors of the RGE-G Adele I find quite pleasing. The sort of like Hatsune Miku
more,
green.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can't find it.
Imagine if that had been the crossover, as if instead of like a Zaku to Gundam, they'd done a Miku Adele.
God. Yeah, if I had my old save, I could load up the game real quick to find it, but I do not have my old save, so I cannot do that. I'm sorry. But yeah.
Maybe, might bring it up at the start of the next episode, depending on how hard it is for me to download this game in a save. Because I'm curious.
Well, let's see. Well, you know what I might do? Here's what I might do. While we're checking this, I'm gonna go on their website and see if No, okay, they don't have it on their website. Damn, they have some of the recolors, like they have the Desperado. One of the Desperados recolors and one of the Genoese recolors. But no, they don't have this recolor, unfortunately.
What's the difference between... You've told me before, I apologize, but what's the real difference between Universe XL and Cosmic Drive?
Universe XL has guest units from the Universal Century, including the Gundam Zeta, the New Gundam, the Unicorn, the Jim, the Zeong, the Yan, Gelgoog, the Dom, Zagok, and the Zaku and the... Cosmic Drive has both Seed and 00 guest units, so it has the Quanta, the 00, the Reborns, the Exia, Dynamis, Curious, Virtue, Jinx, Destiny, Strike Freedom, Infinite Justice, Zaku Warrior, Providence, Strike Gundam, and Jin. So
I don't like Seed, but I think the 00 designs fit into the setting better.
Well, yeah, I mean, they're designed by,
yeah.
But yeah. It's basically which do you want more? As a guest unit.
I found I found the game with English patch, and I like in bold, the story is not translated and it's not planned to be translated either. We're done.
Like, it's
okay.
I mean, it's probably
we don't care.
It's probably a lot of work.
It's probably a lot of work for... You should probably just be watching the anime. Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple of original things in the game, but overall, still, that's the thing.
Sure.
Anyway, I was not able to find any of these Adeles, unfortunately. No one in Japan is just taking a screenshot from a game from one of the less popular Gundam series of a specific grunt. Who what a surprise.
Well, I've downloaded 100% save, and I've obtaining the game perfectly legally. So,
okay.
Not for this pod, but maybe at the start of the next one, I can be like, hey, here they are.
Yeah, fair enough. All right. So now for an actual like new suit from this, we have the Adele Mark II, which was used in the 3rd generation. It is interesting because in 3rd generation they do introduce a suit that is based on the Age 2, which is the Clanch, which is a transformable, but the Adele Mark II, is meant to be it is quote-unquote more old-fashioned, but it's easier to pilot. You're not, it's not being... You don't have to learn how to use a mobile suit that turns into a fucking jet, basically. And it still has, like, upgraded overall performance compared to the prior designs. So yeah, the Adele Mark II here really is cool. Let me grab the high detail art. We also have... There's technically two types, and it does have them both here, I believe. One is the ground type, one is the space type. They have different things going on with the legs, which is pretty cool. So I'll let you adjust this for the video. Yeah, so starting with the head, very similar head to the regular Adele. However, the forehead armor is a bit more pronounced, and kind of a cool thing, the chin is set back a bit more, so that the visor is almost hanging in front of the face, which I just think gives the face a kind of a more unique, cool shape to it. Also, on top of the little earpiece, you get an extra little flat antenna that sticks upward. It gives it a bit more of a militaristic look because of that. The torso is essentially the same. It's just in the new colors. The shoulders are new designs. They have a different, like, kind of opening on the front and back for the thrusters on them. Still overall a similar shape, a boxier outer armor for the extra armor on the outside. It's got this extra bump of armor on the top of them. The bicep and forearms, however, are the same design. For the waist is exactly the same design. Same with the thighs. Where things get real fun are these lower legs. So the lower legs have extra armor around the knee, bigger plates of armor around the side, and then for the ground version, it has the dash unit, which is to say, it has the feet have wheels on them, and then it also has another fold down wheel on the back of the leg, so it can do like wheeling high speed movement on the ground, which is really cool. And then as for the feet, they are the same design, other than the in between both parts of the foot, which is really hard to see unless you're looking at the bottom of it. It has a wheel added, so that it can do the skating around. And then the backpack, same design as the original, just the big box with the thruster on the bottom. Uses the same shield, I believe? Double checking. Yes, that's the same shield design. Does use a new rifle design, though. It is the triple Dodds rifle. I don't know why it's called the triple. Does it have 3 barrels? No? Why is this called the triple? I don't get it. I don't know. I don't know, actually. This is only...
Why don't you post it and we'll see if we can figure it out.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, you see it right there on the lower left here, the black and white.
Right, but like, yeah.
I mean, that's the best art we have
I was
of it.
hoping you had a better angle on it. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah, no, that's all I got. I posted all of the sete for this, that is in this book. It is a single barrel. It does have a little pop-up handle on the side of it, but, yeah. It just mentions that it is apparently a more short range, theoretically, maybe a stronger rifle. It mentions also that there are heavy artillery and sniper-type variants. This comes up in the Mars Contact novel. We do not have art or design notes for any of those, unfortunately. But yeah. And then there is the space type of this. The space type changes the primary color. It is not quite the same color as the Diva version. Here, grab that. It is like it is a bit more like, it's like the Diva version, but with a little bit more paleness to it. And you can see it holding the rifle there. Its primary change is it removes the dasher unit on the back of the leg and replaces it with a simple thruster, since obviously the extra wheel will not be doing you any good in space. I am muting my phone. Now, while we don't really see variants of these in the show, unfortunately, all that often, or have any art of them, we have one frame of one in the show. We do see an Adele Mark II space type with cannon equipment, which makes sense that it could still use all the same wares and whatnot. A little sad we just don't really get more variants out of this. But yeah, and then that's the Adele Mark II.
It's good colors, though. I like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the Adele family of suits is pretty cool overall. I like them. They are... I mean, it's cool Ebikawa designs. I like Ebikawa's, I like Ebikawa's age designs quite a bit in general, so, Yeah. Guess that would be it, though, because we went through all the variants. Pretty sure. Let me double check if there's any other weird ones. But I'm pretty sure that's everything.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
6. Where can people find you in your work?
Stall for just a minute.
Oh, no!
No?
I mean, I'm stalling.
Okay, you don't have to,
No,
I guess.
I was yelling no slowly as a stall. That was my stall tactic. Is being like, no.
Okay, how do I see the database?
What data? Oh.
MS. Probably this? Okay, age...
You need to access the age system and see the parts that you can make. Oh, you were loading the game up and stuff. Okay, I see.
Yeah, of course.
Hey, you said you were going to do that next time. So I didn't expect that you were going to do it this time.
Aha. Okay, here's one.
All right. What color is it? Is it red?
This is no, it is not.
Oh.
This is the Adele Gnome. Gnome.
Yeah.
Green and blue.
Ooh, okay, you know what? I like that. That's pretty good. Okay. Then the other one's...
What's the other one supposed to be called?
The Spur. The Adele Spur.
Sure. I guess that's fair. Here's the Spur.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. Yeah, they are Adeles with different stats, because that's... I mean, again, it's an RPG. This is what they do. There's a lot of weird color variants in the game because of this. Some of them having appeared in the show or in other material, and some of them having not done that.
Was this worth waiting for? Probably not. But, at least we've got it off our list.
That's fine.
Now we know.
That's fine. Well...
Well, you can find me on bluesky6.scanlinemedia.com. You can find my work at scanlinemedia.com or patreon.com/scanlinemedia, along with that of my friends. We do lots of podcasts. We would appreciate your support. And, of course, you can talk to us over on the Scanline Media Discord. It's a great place to make listener requests, to be like, hey, you missed something, because that's really helpful, and I probably won't find out otherwise. And also just to, post pictures of Gunpla and discuss designs and have a good time. We have fun around there.
Yeah. Oh.
What about you, Dylan?
Right before you can find me, other detail I realized that I like that these actually changed the glass color. It's really funny because the gnome is almost Nemo colors, actually, thinking about it, with the orange and the green. Anyway.
Oh, I shouldn't have closed the game so fast. I should have checked to see if they had separate model numbers. Oh, well. I'll open it back up and figure that out for the list.
But yeah, you can find me over on Busky at Low Poly Robot. And I just kind of post whatever I'm up to, games, other media that I am watching or whatever, reading, etc. I post a lot, and yeah, that's that. So,
looks like it took this person 26 hours to beat this game.
Nice. I mean, depends on how much you want 100% it. There's also a whole there's a whole side mode that's like there's the main gate, and then there's like a extra mode where you can create your own character, and then that's where you do the multiplayer missions and whatnot, and that's where the crossover missions come up. And also, there are some unique parts that you can get from doing that. You unlock parts of that, I believe, if I remember right, as you unlock parts of the game. So, like, once you beat part 1 of the game, that's when you can do all the part 1 missions there, and so on. But yeah, I mean, it's a neat little game. I believe it's on the same engine as LBX. You know, I had a fun time playing it back when it came out.
It does not have a custom model number. Its database intro just says it's a custom Adele.
Yeah, I mean, that makes sense.
Huh.
Well, peace.
Peace.